Welcome to the FGTN show. I'm your host, Alex Tim, and this week we're diving into Garmin's earnings, Johnson Outdoors' big reveal, and what it all means as we head into the Walleye Opener. Plus, new rods, hot gear deals, and a reality check you don't want to miss. Drop a let's go in the chat if you're watching live, or hit the comments if you're tuning in as a part of the replay squad. So I will show this off. This is something I threw together here. This is the 2025 Walleye Season Openers for, I guess, all of the states in the US. I didn't realize until I put this together just how many states there were that have seasons that don't close or, of course, don't have walleye, right? So we'll kind of run through it really quick here. Traditional, so there's states that have traditional openers and then some that have early or late openers and then some that have year-round fishing. So traditional openers, we got Minnesota opening next week, May 10th. We got Wisconsin opening yesterday, this weekend, walleye opener May 3rd. Michigan, so you got lower part of Michigan's April 26th, upper part is May 15th. If I got one of these wrong, I tried searching everywhere for this stuff. If I got one of these wrong, drop it down in the comments, but I do believe these are right. So upper Michigan, May 15th, New York, May 1st, Vermont, May 3rd, Pennsylvania, May 3rd, Iowa, May 3rd. So in terms of traditional openers, as of yesterday, everything, Wisconsin's open, Michigan and the lowers open, New York, Vermont, Pennsylvania, Iowa are open. So this is the big walleye opener. We do have some early late openers as well. So we've got Montana as a May 15th opener. Everything else is already open. They had early openers. And then you've got year-round fishing for walleye in all of those other states that you'll see here. So hopefully this is helpful for you. Got it up on the screen. And that's that. That's where we're at. Let's see who's in the comments here. We got John Zick checking in, member of the channel for 16 months. John, super appreciate your support of the channel, making all of these pieces of content possible. On the lake, love it, John. Let's go, Kevin. Really appreciate it. Jared, I will yes, I got that coffee today. Loving it. I think I'm on my third coffee today. Got a little bit later start today than I wanted to get as much prep done before this morning as I wanted. Was hoping to get out on the water today. We'll see what happens. Sent me a message about a walleye tournament. I'll check it out. Thank you so much. All right, next up, we're going to talk about some new products before we talk about some of the earnings releases, Johnson Outdoors, Garmin, because we all like hearing about new products. One of them, and I got some interesting news here too for you. So Trika, I don't actually have them at the end in the deal section, but they do still have their season kickoff 15% off all rods going right now on their website. This is ice fishing and open water rods. But Trika has announced and released, which I didn't see coming, their 10X rod. So they have a 3X, 6X, 10X. So this is their latest and greatest rod that they've released. I just ordered 2 of them. This morning, I picked up the medium light extra fast 6'10", and I got the ultra light fast, I believe. I think those are the 2 that I ended up picking up. So I'm really excited about them. Both of them work good. Even this ultralight is rated up to 6 pounds, which is typically what I run on my walleye rods. I usually run 6 pound fluoro. Good for, of course, panfish, trout, crappie. Of course, it's an ultralight rod, but they even have it listed as a walleye and bass rod. And then, of course, when you want a little bit more of that backbone to it, I got the medium light extra fast, which can go up to 10 pound, which I barely ever use over 10 pound. I typically am not going like into the heavy, like this isn't a casting rod, right? So if you're interested, check it out. The reason why I pulled the trigger, I literally just rigged up 3 6X rods that I purchased earlier in the year. And now I'm kicking myself for even buying them, because it's like, if I knew the 10X was coming out, I wouldn't got them. But the 10X is out. What's the difference, you may ask yourself? Well, they've got this fun little rod comparison thing on their website where they've got the 3X, 6X, 10X. It is expensive. So like one thing for me, so I picked up 2 of them. I've now got, I think, 4 6X rods. I never purchased their 3X. Their 6X I love. They're really great. I had a medium fast 7 foot, 7'2" maybe. Last year I got from them and used, and I loved it. So I picked up a couple more this year, and now I got 2 of the 10X. So I'm going to try them, and I will let you know if I think there's a significant difference between the 6X and the 10X. What they say here is you've got the, I can't pronounce this, the Torica, Torica. I think it's Torica. That's what we're going with. Torica. Elite carbons and the Fuji titanium frames in the Fuji Torzite inserts. So these are supposed to be much more sensitive and lighter, and the best guides on the market that they have. So the 10X, it says, introducing Trica's lightest, most sensitive rod ever designed, outfitted with top-tier Fuji titanium Torzite guides, the best guides on the market. The 10X series ensures unparalleled precision and durability for premium performance. You can see the impact of that 15% is pretty nice, bringing it from $449 to $382. Plus, they have free shipping, 1-year money-back guarantee. They've got their warranty and all of that. So that's why I picked them up, because I was like, you know what? What am I going to do? And I'm like, 15% off. I didn't see that come around like really at all last year. Maybe I missed it. So I'm like, you know what? Now might be the time to get it if you're going to get one. So check it out. I make nothing if you get them. I have no relationship with Trica at all. Yeah. So anyways, if you're interested in checking them out, go ahead. I'm interested to see just how much more sensitive it is than the 6X. Because again, I really like the 6X. So we'll see this season what we get, but they're really good rods. Okay, here's the thing that I was going to tell you. I actually reached out to Trica and asked them about this, because I know we talked about it last week, or was it 2 weeks ago when they came out with their new spinning reel? This is what I asked them about. This rod just came out. They already have reviews that are from before it was released, right? Chris saying this 10X rod is a serious upgrade from anything I've ever used before. Absolutely worth it. Zach is saying I've fished it 3 times, already my favorite in the lineup. I'm consistently landing more fish, right? Like there's all of this stuff in here. Here's what I found out. These reviews are from their ambassadors, right? So if you go to the bottom of Trica's page, they have an ambassador program that you can click on, and you can become a Trica brand ambassador. So they want passionate anglers representing the industry, disrupting fishing rods. Trica ambassadors promote the brand through social media channels and unique personality. What you'll get as a brand ambassador: 20% off retail on Trica products, 4-product limit. Top performers will be moved into the influencer program. Ambassador discount codes will be provided. You have to follow them. You got to post about them, tag them. Basically, your normal like pro staff, right? Well, what they did is, I guess they chose several people from their ambassador program and just shipped them the products to test out and try. So one thing that I wish Trica would do is put in here ambassador or something, because all of these came from people that got these products for free, that have a relationship with Trica where they get discounted merchandise and free merchandise, right? Free product. So to me, as a completely unbiased, and my mission on the channel is transparency, honesty, and unbiased nature in all the gear and products that I review, which is why I don't accept money. I have no relationships with any of the fishing gear brands in terms of financial relationship or anything like that. And if somebody were to send me a product and I were to talk about it because I think it's great, I'm going to tell you that that product was sent to me. So there is never going to be any type of discrepancy there, because I feel like this is a space within online social media, YouTube, that has really gotten very blurry. All of these should say that this is an ambassador that received free product. There's a lot, like Amazon does this, Best Buy does this, right? This is a thing that's known in the industry, and it gives you credibility. And to me, these should be called out as they received free product, right? Flag it right below it. It doesn't necessarily dilute the message, but it gives transparency that, oh, maybe this person has an incentive to give it 5 stars versus 4 versus 3 and say some great things about it, because they don't want to risk their ambassadorship going the wrong way. Now, granted, I'm a big fan of Trika. That's why I spent my hard-earned money, just like you guys would, and buy one for $382. I bought two. So anyways, good to know. There was some questions about this because the same thing happened on their reels when they released them. Good to know. Now we all know. And I really appreciate Trika. This is not a bash on them. I just think that would be an improvement that they could make. I think it's great that they do the ambassador program. I think it's great that they do product seeding in the market. I think it's great that they have fantastic products. And I appreciate them getting back to me and giving me the transparent detail around this is where they came from. So huge props to Trico for that. But now we all know as well. So there we go. All right, moving on to another new product here is from a company I've never heard of before. It is called Sunfran. Zero clue about this, but I found it online and I was like, maybe we need to talk about this. It is a rod holder with a built-in fish alert. It's basically an auto hook setting rod holder, which is kind of interesting, right? So let me see if I can play one of these videos and have it show you, right? So the rod is set up. You can see a spring load. If something pulls on it, like a fit, you can see he's imitating a fish pulling down on the rod tip, and it pulls it up and sets the hook, which is going to do two things. One, it's going to alert you. Obviously, there's something on the other end of that rod because it just set off. And two, maybe it can help with hook setting. This currently is not legal in the state of Minnesota. I'm sure other states where you can do auto hook setting, maybe it is. Look up in your own state if it's legal to use or not. But I would not recommend getting this right now in Minnesota. It's not even out yet. It's coming soon. But I thought that this was a pretty cool and interesting product. It looks like it pops right in a standard Scotty or Canon rod holder that you can put there. And it says that it also works for ice fishing, detects subtle bites and sets the hook automatically. Anglers using multiple rods who don't want to miss strikes, and bank fishermen tired of the clip-on bells and messing with the line for hook setting. So kind of interesting product here if you're interested in checking it out. I could see how, oh, that's cool. Like on a post, oh, it's in a rod holder right off of a dock there. That's pretty cool. I could totally see, again, in Minnesota, one of the other things that we got is you can only have one line per person, right? So like if you want to have a rod in your hand, you can't really do this. But if you're bobber fishing and don't want to, I guess, have a bobber down or have it in your hand, this could be pretty cool too. So yes, rod holder with built-in fish alert. It looks like you can notify it's coming soon. You can request a free sample or a trial. I would maybe do that just to check it out and let you guys know, but I can't even use it here in the state of Minnesota, so I'm definitely not going to do that. But if one of you do and you find out more about it, please let me know. We got John saying, I am in New England. It says January 1st, but it's all year. Yeah, John. So the way that it works is January 1st must be the beginning of your license year, your fishing license year, I believe is the way that I put it in there. So if your fishing license year starts on January 1, your season is January 1 through December 31st. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong on this. I looked at a lot of different states. There's 50 of them. And so if it doesn't have a season, then it starts when your license year starts. So that's what I got in there. New Nebraska. There we go. There we go. Appreciate that. Chris, good morning, all. I am in NE also, John. Nice. And that is Nebraska. That is good to know. Chad, morning, all. Jake, so true. Mark, you must make a choice. You only get to fish one lake for the rest of your life, and it can only be hard water or soft water. What lake and what season? If I could only fish one lake the rest of my life, just where I live right now, I would say it'd be Lake Mille Lacs. And the reason is it's within driving distance for a day trip. If distance weren't a matter to that degree, I'd probably choose Lake of the Woods because there's so much more trophy size potential up there, but Mille Lacs is really good. So I'd say Mille Lacs. Lake of the Woods is too far for a day trip. And I wouldn't want to limit myself where I couldn't go fishing for a day, right? I'm about an hour, hour and a half from Mille Lacs, so that works. So I do Mille Lacs, and I would do hard water for sure. I like hard water better than open water. There's so many other things you can do in the summertime too. So like if you couldn't fish in the summer, there's plenty of other activities you could pick up. Hunting would be maybe something that I would pick up. Camping, hiking. I mean, there's a lot of other things. So yeah, you called me out there, John. Evidently I haven't had enough coffee yet, and I'm looking at too many acronyms across the board. The craziest is when you start adding in like Canada in the different areas up there, like Ontario. So then it's like ON, right? You've got all of those other ones added in there too. So appreciate that. What brand coffee am I drinking? I'm on the Black Rifle wagon now. I had Black Rifle. I really liked it. It tasted stronger for sure. I've got just like I think it's a Keurig K-Cup. I think it's just one of like the Starbucks ones. I don't know, whatever my wife gets at Target. But it is sure good. All right, let's move on to the next topic that we got here, which is another new product. It's actually been out for a little bit of time, but I don't think we've talked about it here, so we're going to talk about it now. So Phil, which you know of from their bobbers, has released the new Phil Sharpshooter floats. And I did notice these are now available in several different retailers. Before they weren't. And so when I was going to talk about them, and maybe I did like do a little plug for them on the previous FGTN show, but they weren't available in retail. So we didn't know like how much they were going to cost or anything like that. So these are crafted with premium balsa wood, like many of their bobbers are, for maximum sensitivity. The Sharpshooter floats are the ultimate fishing innovation designed for peak performance. This bobber flies horizontally like a dart, providing unparalleled accuracy and double the casting distance compared to any other float on the market. Its sleek, high visibility design ensures you never miss a bite, while its aerodynamic shape transforms every cast into a precision strike in all wind conditions. Whether you're fishing from shore or sharpshooting using live sonar, the Phil Sharpshooter will revolutionize your fishing game. Available in 3 sizes to support weights up to 1/8 ounce, 1/4 ounce, 3/8 ounce. Keep an eye out for exciting demo videos coming soon. I tried to find some demo videos. I could only find one. I'm going to show it to you here in a second. It is not the best video quality, but it does, like, after looking at these pictures here, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. I understand what I'm looking at in the video. But if I didn't show you what they look like, how they have like the dart fins on the back of it, it would look like the dude's just casting a bobber. So this is good to know. So it's got kind of like the dart on the back of it here, kind of like the wings, which give it that ability to fly horizontal through the water and really target it. But this is what they are. And so let me flip over to the one video that I found, like literally the only one I could find online. And by the way, there's none on YouTube, so we have to do this from Facebook. So here we go.
We're out here on a breezy Minnesota afternoon shooting some demos of these awesome new Phil Sharpshooter floats. We're casting at a marker buoy we have set up in a crosswind about 90 feet from the boat. As you saw, John was able to put that first one within a few feet. He's rigged up with a number 2 split shot, a 16th ounce Lindy B Max live bait jig, and a 3/8 ounce Phil Sharpshooter float. Let's watch it one more time here as it flies through the air, just like a dart. Distance, accuracy, landing right next to that marker buoy. 16th ounce Lindy B Max live bait jig and a 3/8 ounce Phil Sharpshooter float. Let's watch it one more time here.
You see it's tumbling in the air. You see it tumbling in the air?
Flies through the air, just like
it's still tumbling through the air.
Distance, accuracy, landing
and when
right
it was coming
next
down
to that
the water, it looked like it was going in a more dart-like action.
First one within a few feet.
That's really hard.
He's rigged up with a number 2 split shot, Lindy B Max live bait jig, and a 3/8 ounce Phil Sharpshooter float. Let's watch it one more time.
He's just lobbing it.
I'm here as it flies.
It's just
through the air, just like a dart. Distance, accuracy, landing right next to that marker buoy, tangle free.
Good. And it does have, I guess, if it helps with, accuracy in it, you know, John, I would argue, is probably a pretty dang good fisherman and could do that with a regular bobber. So use your own discretion on if you think this is worth it. Price point on these guys is $7.99, so it's an $8 bobber. They've got them in 3/8 ounce, 1/8 ounce, and a 1/4 ounce. And these are all $8 for one bobber. I might pick up a couple just to try them out, but based off of that video, I thought it was gonna be like he's gonna cast it, right? And it's gonna go through the air like a dart would, but it kind of fumbled and, you know, fluttered and tumbled in the air until it started going down, and then it kind of made its like pointed dart approach, which I think is maybe what we're looking for, which I think that might help with accuracy, but I think it's more of the lob that is more to do with the accuracy because you got to get the distance and the angle right, because it was kind of falling around there. But anyways, that is a new float from Phil. If you're interested in checking it out, and if you have experience with it, please drop it down in the comments as well. Morning, Trevor. Season opener starts tomorrow here. Awesome, awesome. On a Monday. Interesting. All right, let's go ahead and fly over to our next big topic here. Minnesota fishing license sales up 10%. Don't worry if you're not in Minnesota. We're going to talk about your area potentially as well. But Minnesota fishing sales are up 10% ahead of the May opener. Again, Minnesota's opener is next weekend. So this is information from Minnesota. I looked, no other state has given any information out around ticket sales yet. But not ticket. Why did I say ticket sales? License sales. So Minnesota has already sold more than 220,000 fishing licenses this spring, which is up 10% from last year. They believe the reason why is because of they had it in here. Here we go. State officials said Thursday they believe a strong ice fishing season and the early ice out on local lakes has outdoorsy Minnesotans excited to get out on the water. So they believe that is what is attributed to the 10% increase versus last year. And again, it's not even opener yet. So this week, I imagine, hopefully, will be a big week as well. So Minnesota ranks 4th in the nation for annual fishing license sales, trailing only more populous in coastal states like California, Florida, and Texas. Department of Natural Resources Commissioner Sarah Stroman told reporters, proceeds from the $25 licenses go back into supporting the state's wildlife and public lands. And the state originally planned to debut a new electronic licensing system and app for hunters and anglers in time for this year's May 10th fishing opener. But the DNR announced earlier this year that it was delaying the March 2025 rollout, saying the outside vendor needed more time for testing and training. So that did not happen. So that's Minnesota. Now you may ask yourself, well, what the heck? What about all the rest of us? Well, what I've done is I pulled up here, and I know this is small, so I'm going to zoom in and we can kind of scroll across. I pulled this together as well. And so this is the 2025 fishing license overview, requirements, costs, and recent changes by state or province for, I know this isn't everybody, including my Nebraska friends. But these are the areas that represent, I've got the data point. 93% of people that watch the FGTN show live in one of these areas. And in terms of like all of the videos on the channel, this represents 60% of the people, 65% of the people that watch the channel. So yeah. So those of you from Nebraska, you got to tell your friends to tune in and watch. And then if you make this top list, we'll start including you more as well. But if you're always watching the show, drop it down in the comments and maybe I'll get your state added to things like this in the future. But this is where we're at. Minnesota. So you've got your license validity period. So when does your license year start and when does it end? So you can see that here. I'm not going to call them out here. And then you can see your annual fee. So what's interesting here is Minnesota's at 25, and then you'll see fee changes for 2025. Was there a price change in this new 2025 season? Minnesota did not have a change. Wisconsin's at $20, but they had a proposed increase to go up to 30. and that just has not passed yet. So there is still a proposed increase of $10 for Wisconsin residents, but it has not passed, and you'll see that over here. The governor's budget proposes a $10 increase, but it's not yet enacted. In Minnesota, we've got license fees that are waived at age 90 and a proposal to reduce fees for senior 65 in 65 plus that are under consideration. We've got Iowa at $22. There's no change there. Illinois is 15. Michigan's at 26 with a proposed increase to 40. This is an interesting one, and I would be like, I don't know all the states. I don't have all the states in here, obviously, but that would put Michigan to they're already the second highest, but that would put them to the highest priced annual fee. And the reasoning behind it is the governor's budget proposes a $14 increase to make up for lost revenue in the state. So they're trying to use it as a way to drive revenue in the state. I didn't have it in here, but I do remember reading that during my research, which is interesting. North Dakota is $25, which increased from 16. So that went up $9 this year. South Dakota increased by $3 to 31. Now currently the highest. I guess $3 less. They still would have been the highest, at least in this listing here. New York is $25. There's no change there. Senior 70 plus pay $5. So anyways, I will not have this linked because this is a image. Maybe I will see, actually, this is a page that I coded. I'll see if I can get this uploaded for anybody that's interested in checking it out. Ontario, you are at $26.57 Canadian dollar cents is my understanding. That conversion always gets me there. And there's an outdoors card required for most licenses. We've got kind of a recap here of fee increases, senior discounts, license validity, and additional options. If you guys like seeing this type of view on the FGTN show, let me know, and I'll continue to incorporate one or two of these every week into the show if it's an interesting view for you. Otherwise, just talking through it and showing websites is much easier for me. If you would prefer that, I can continue doing that as well. Something new that I wanted to try out this week. All right. Another big piece of news here is the strategic relationship between Garmin and the ACA to continue for the 2025 season. So what the heck is the ACA? The Association of Collegiate Anglers is excited to announce a continued strategic relationship with Garmin, the premier marine electronics manufacturer in the industry that we know, known for its products, right? So the ACA is the Association of Collegiate Anglers. So what does this relationship look like? And the reason why I'm bringing this up is you heard me in the last two shows talk about Humminbird and what they're doing in the MLF, what they're doing in the NPFL. So things that Humminbird is doing within the sport of professional fishing. Well, Garmin is actually going, not to say that they're not also doing that, but Garmin is also doing things with collegiate, which I actually really appreciate. So it says here, Garmin's support of the ACA, Association of Collegiate Anglers, and its event will include continued support via the College Angler Discount Program, Garmin tournament rewards, and supported events to include the 20th Collegiate Bass Fishing Championship presented by Bass Pro Shops to be contested at Lake Hartwell in May 2025. That's this month. The ACA is currently in its 20th season. It's been great to have Garmin as a supporter of the National College Fishing Tournament Trail and student anglers since the very beginning. Let's get into what they will do. This continued support from Garmin will provide college anglers with the opportunity to pursue their goals at the highest level in the sport. Here it goes. Garmin supports the ACA and collegiate anglers in a multitude of different ways. One of those avenues is through the premier discount program that Garmin offers to all college anglers. This program allows anglers to purchase products at a discounted rate, thus upgrading their gear and making them better anglers. To find out more about the discount opportunities and apply to receive a code, click here. Guess what? We're going to click here. So the way that this works is Garmin has a form that you can fill out. To be eligible for the program, you must have fished an ACA major event or ACA sanctioned school of the year event in the past 12 months, as well as currently be active in your school club team at time of purchase. If you're not currently an active member on your college university team, your request will not be approved. Anglers are only allowed one Garmin discount code in a 12-month period. Do not request a code if you've already received and redeemed one. So you fill out the form. So after submitting the form, you get allow 48 to 72 hours for the request to be processed. And after that, you will get a code that can be used on Garmin.com, sent to your school email address, and you have 21 days from the time the code was sent until the code is no longer active. If you are not ready to purchase, do not request the code. Only request a code when you're actually ready to make the purchase. It does not say in here how much the discount is, but it's pretty cool that you get a discount code. I'm imagining off of all of the things on Garmin's website, which is probably pretty nice. I would imagine it's probably in the 20 to 50% range, but I have no clue, so I'm just making that up. New for this year. So how else do they support? Number one, like if you're in this, or you know somebody that's in the ACA, or you're a collegiate angler in any of those qualifying areas, definitely spread the word. I think it's really cool to know about how do these brands do these things. So it's pretty cool. So new for this year, Garmin Tournament Rewards pays out $1,000 total for the 2 different contingency bonuses: exclusive electronics reward and the forced trolling motor reward. Taking a page out of Hummingbird's book. Remember, Humminbird is doing something where, like, if you're in a top position in one of these events and you're using either, one of our Mega Live systems, or you're using one of our new chart plotters, the new screens that they have, then you qualify for the reward, but you have to use it. So they're doing the same thing here. The exclusive electronics reward awards $500 to the top placing angler who competes from a boat equipped exclusively with mounted Garmin marine electronics. Now, Humminbird did not say exclusively on theirs. You just had to have the equipment. So you could have a Humminbird screen or a Mega Live 2 on your boat, but then also be using Garmin. But technically, you have the Humminbird, you're good. Here, they're saying exclusively, so you can't have any of the other brands on there, which is interesting. For forced trolling motor reward, a reward of $500 is given to the top placing angler at the event with a Garmin Force trolling motor. So this is going to be the Garmin Force, the Garmin Force Pro, or the Garmin Force Kraken. And then it talks a little bit more about Garmin, which we're not going to read here. But if you're interested, Garmin is doing stuff too. And I really like the idea of them going to the college level rather than just focused on the professional leagues as well. I'm going to grab a sip of coffee here. Everybody, I encourage you to grab a drink of whatever you're drinking. And then we're getting into some numbers. We're going to talk about Garmin, and they announced their first quarter 2025 results next. I need like commercial break, like audio or video clips to go in here. And to our sponsor now, maybe soon, maybe one day. Sponsor can't be in the fishing gear space though, right? So we'll see. I'm trying to zoom in here, and then I can share the screen. All right. Garmin has announced first quarter 2025 results. So I'm gonna read through a couple of the things that they say here, and then what I'm going to do is go through. I took some notes that I'm going to read through as well, because this doesn't tell the whole story. The thing to remember about when any company announces their earnings is they have one goal in mind. It is to drive confidence with their shareholders that their company is on the path to greatness, right? And profitability. So if something bad happened or is happening, or the outlook is not good, they're going to do as much as they can without lying. They can't lie, but without lying, they're going to do as much as they can to polish up, make it look pretty, the position that they're in, so that way shareholders continue to be happy with them, right? So that's what's in here. And then I'm going to go through some things that I think are a little bit telling, and maybe my thoughts around what the future could look like here. So let's get through it here. So highlights for the first quarter of 2025 for Garmin. They had record consolidated revenue of $1.54 billion, an 11% increase compared to the prior year quarter. So one thing I do need to call out here, this is Garmin. This is the main company. So they have fitness, outdoor, aviation, marine, and auto. This is not just around the fishing industry with Garmin. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a second. They had a gross margin of 57.6% compared to 58.1% the prior year quarter. They had operating margin expand to 21.7% from 21.6% the prior year quarter. And they had record operating income of $333 million, which was a 12% increase compared to the prior year quarter. GAAP EPS of 1.72 and pro forma EPS of $1.61, representing a 13% growth in pro forma EPS over the prior year quarter. And then they got some recognition in here for some of the things that they've done. So I'm going to leave this up here and I'm going to tell you what my thoughts are. If I pull it up here on my side page. So this is what I have to say about it. The TLDR, based off of what I read here, is that Garmin did report a record Q1 2025 in terms of total revenue and profit, but a lot of that performance that they're talking about here is not from fishing or marine products, the things that we really care about, right? And some of the profit growth, actually, believe it or not, wasn't even from sales at all. It actually came from financial wins like currency exchange and interest income. And so we're gonna break it all down here. So Garmin's overall financial performance, what it looks like versus what it actually means. So the headline claim, they had operating income up 12% year over year, which we saw that they called out here. Operating income up 12% year over year. They had net income up 20.6%, which is going to be further down here where they talk about net income. It's in there. It's in the grid down here at the bottom. And then they had record Q1 results, right? We saw that they said that. So what does this actually mean? I'm going to go back up to this section here. So what does it actually mean? The 12% increase in operating income was mostly tied to revenue growth from fitness, outdoor, and auto OEM segments, right? It was not driven. Let me scroll in here. It was not driven by the marine space. Here's fishing, marine, 319 million versus last year, 326. That is a 2% decline year over year. The only category that they report on to actually go down in revenue sales. Okay. I think that's notable because they don't call that out. And for us that are interested in the fishing industry, that's good to know. They had a 20.6% increase in net income. So what that includes is nearly $25 million in foreign currency gains and $30.5 million in interest income. That's over $55 million in net income, in profit from not having anything to do with product sales. So when we look at their quarter and they did so good, we have to allocate 55 million of that is not because they sold more stuff, which is interesting. So putting that in layman's terms, Garmin made more money this quarter, but a big chunk of that wasn't from selling more gear. It came from smart money management and currency exchange. Now, again, this is not bad. This is actually really good news for them. That's awesome. But it doesn't mean that more fishing gear is being sold or it's flying off the shelves. So the headline claim, marine revenue declined by 2% due to timing of promotions. So they say that up here. Timing of promotions. Here we go. Marine segment. This is what they say. This is their words. Revenue from the marine segment decreased 2% in the first quarter, primarily due to the timing of promotions, which contributed to lower revenue from multiple product categories in the quarter. Okay. What this actually means, Garmin attributes the dip to marketing calendar shifts, but the industry data doesn't show us that. The industry data shows us that marine electronic sales are soft across the board, which we're going to talk about with Johnson Outdoors in a second, which is Humminbird's parent company. Consumer discretionary spending, we know, is tightening and inventories remain high in many retail channels because they don't have the sell-through. So they can say this, but the reality is we know the fishing segment is soft right now. So in layman's explanation, they say it's just bad timing, but really the fishing tech sales are just slow right now. This isn't a Garmin only issue. It's a sign of slower spring for marine gear in general. Key launches from Q1. What does it signal? A couple things that they had talked about in their press release was they did release the Force Pro trolling motor, which is great because they did. That's the multi-band GPS, reverse thrust, built-in sonar with the GT56. Good trolling motor, right? The Pro version of the Force. And then they're continuing to build off of their LiveScope brand, right? This is what we know. Garmin is focused on high-end integrated marine solutions, popular with tournament and tech-savvy anglers. And then, of course, with their college partnerships and sponsorships, they're doing some really good stuff there. Forward-looking guidance. This is where I have an interesting perspective on what this is telling us. So Garmin's guidance is this. Total, let's see, do we have guidance? This is what Garmin's saying. Based upon our first quarter results and our assessment of the current global trade environment, we are updating our full year 2025 expectations for revenue to approximately $6.85 billion and maintaining our pro forma EPS of $7.80 based on gross margin of 58.5%, operating margin 24.8%, and a full year tax rate of 16.5%. Okay, this is what they told us, right? $6.85 billion in total revenue for this year. They revised in the marine segment that the growth would be flat. They previously expected marine, so the fishing gear and tech space, to grow by 4% before this quarter. Now they're saying it's flat. So what does that mean? That's a red flag for us. The fact that Garmin is saying it's flat marine forecast is not good. What it implies is that there is going to be no rebound in demand this year. They're already down 2%. So that means they're not going to see a big boost later in the year. So what that means to us is Garmin is likely going to rely on bundles. High-end bundles is likely. Force Pro plus LiveScope bundles with screens to drive the marine segment momentum. What that means for us is they're not expecting a big year for fishing gear. So what does that mean for new products? That means that we probably aren't going to see a new big product launch from Garmin. That's what this is telling us, because they would not forecast, because remember, their vested interest is to show that they believe there's going to be growth, but they also don't want to lead people to believe something that they're just completely wrong on, right? They want to be in line with it. So that way, when they say they're going to grow, there's more confidence in, they said they're going to grow and they have a track record of actually doing what they say. There's more confidence there in shareholders for the stock. And so what we're seeing here is they're saying flat for the year. That means if we thought, or we're thinking a new LiveScope is going to be coming out, some new chart plotters are going to be coming out this year. Maybe at ICAST they're going to launch something. I have no clue, but based off of what we're seeing here and them saying the marine segment is going to stay flat to last year, it's telling us there's not going to be a big boom, because when they do have big launches like a new LiveScope system, they see significant increase in sales. And that's not true here. So that's good to know. Another thing that's good to know too is that they have also had sell-through of a lot more inventory as well. And so inventory that has been on books, they're seeing the benefit of that right now in buying a little bit less right now. And so that's another reason why we're seeing some somewhat positive output in terms of profitability for them. Okay, so now let's shift. Let's shift over to Johnson Outdoors. So Johnson Outdoors also announced earnings, but what they announced was their quarter two, because they have different fiscal quarters, right? So I'll leave this up here and I'll go through, just to keep us moving here, I'll go through what my thoughts are after reading this. So Johnson Outdoors, TLDR. Johnson Outdoors, which is the parent company of Humminbird, Minn Kota, and Old Town, saw sales and profits dip, but product innovation was its bright spot during quarter two. So they had the Mega Live 2 and the Explorer that are beating expectations in their segments of Humminbird specifically. But overall fishing revenue is down. They're still debt-free. That's a big thing for Johnson Outdoors, is they don't have debt on their balance sheet. They're debt-free, which is really good. They're still pushing towards innovation, right? They had those two big new product launches that happened over the last year, and they're really starting to see the steam of it now with inventory hitting. But they're battling the tough market headwinds again, showcasing it is a market issue right now with less confidence, less free cash in people's pockets, able to spend on these more expensive products. So overall financial performance of Johnson Outdoors. Net sales in Q2, 168.3 million, which is down 4% year over year. They had a gross margin of 35%, which was flat year over year. Operating income was slightly down year over year. Net income was just a little bit up, and then EPS was about flat. So what's really going on? Their sales are down, but they cut costs and improved operations, turning last year's small loss into a small profit this year. So they have strong product launches that we talked about, Humminbird Mega Live 2. And then also in their camping space, they also had the Jet Boil, the Fast Boil launch as well. They're really holding things up right now. They had a high Q2 tax rate of 44.6%, which dampened their profit picture due to accruals from the European audits. And they had operating profit that was partially offset by $3.4 million decline in deferred compensation investment earnings. They did not sell more gear, but they did make more margin and control expenses better. They did a lot of cost cutting, which is why they're profitable versus last year wrapping up a little bit unprofitable. So this is a story about smart operations. It's not about sales growth that drove that profitability. In terms of fishing segment specifics, fishing sales were down 3% year over year. Operating income was up to $9.5 million from $7.4 million year over year. Year-to-date fishing revenue is down almost 13%, and their year-to-date fishing profit is significantly down. Year-to-date fishing profit is $1.2 million, whereas last year at this point, they had $19 million. So what it's telling us is even the biggest names in fishing, like Johnson Outdoors, are not immune to the slowdown of the industry and the market, but they're weathering it smarter than most because they're doing those cost-cutting measures to keep themselves profitable. Let's see. Anything else that we want to really talk about here? Inventory drawdown. So they're down to 180 million in inventory on hand versus 249 million that they had last year. So they're leaning out right now. They're still debt free. They have 94 million in cash currently, which is good. The tariffs are incoming, so the supply chain and pricing pressures are building. And then camping and watercraft are down 12% despite the Jet Boil launch. That's kind of the key thing there. Sales down 4% year over year, but ops improved their income. Fishing revenue is down 3%. Year-to-date fishing profit fell from 19 million to 1.2 million. Strong cash position, zero debt. They have tariff concerns ahead, which could impact their costs more than what they were originally anticipating. All right, now that we got through that, drop down in the comments. Let me know, or the live. Do you like when I go through the earnings of Garmin and Johnson Outdoors, Minn Kota? Like, do you like when I go through them? Do I maybe need to do it a little quicker, a little bit faster, kind of give you the top hits, or do you like the depth that I go? Let me know. I'd be interested. Let me know. All right. Next up, kind of like events and deals is what we've got to talk about next. So we've got a little bit more here. So MN Fish, we talked about this last week. The auction, it closes today at 8 p.m. So if you want to get in on any of these auction items, get in now. So I just clicked on the view all items. They have 108 items on here, everything from guided fishing tours to a bunch of other things. Let's get into some of the gear to look and see what they've got. Now, remember, the way that they're doing the auction here on MN Fish is a little bit different. All of this goes towards the proceeds go back into the industry, which is good. But the way that they're doing it is it's an 8 p.m. close time for the auction. If somebody bids on an item within the last 3 minutes, it will get extended in an additional 3 minutes. So it will just keep extending so that way nobody's coming and sniping into the last 10 seconds. But that will only happen for up to 30 minutes after 8 o'clock. So at 8:30, if something keeps getting pushed out, 8:30, it's shutting down. So if a bid goes in at 8:29:50 and that's the last bid. That's the last bid. It's shutting down in 10 seconds. So something to know if you're going to be competitive and try to get into this. So what do we got here? The Garmin EchoMap Ultra 2 106 SV bundle. So this is a $2,500 value. Bids are up to $2,300 right now, so $200 off. The MSRP on that guy, $1,700 Live Scope Plus is at $1,300 right now. We've got the Mega Live 1, not the Mega Live 2. The Mega Live 1 is at $875. They've got the FL38 Pro Pack. This is an FLX38. This is not the FL. This is the FLX38. Unless the image is wrong. But the image definitely shows that this is a... Maybe they're the wrong image. No. It's interesting. This one has a value of $800 and this one has a value of $799. But they're both at $500 right now. You've got some reels in here. Ooh, Pure Fishing World Class. Fenwick, Pfluger, Freybill, Plano, and Berkeley products. So this is what you're going to get here. You can see it here. This is a valued at $1,300. And the current bid is $600. So they've got all of that stuff in there. They got a bunch of reels, rods, combos, tuned up custom rod, $160. MSRP is $200. So they got a lot of stuff in here. Gear, shirts, stuff, live bait coolers. They've got a Milwaukee M18 lawnmower in here. And they got a lot of cool stuff in here. So if you're interested, go check it out. I will have it linked down below after the stream is over. And then Clam has a walleye deal going right now for opener. This goes through May 10th. So they've got the walleye opener kit that is $69.99, and it includes kind of their more common baits for targeting walleye. They've also got the drop TG. So this is a tungsten jig. They've got 20% off drop TG with the code drop TG through May 10th. So you can buy it all right here from Clam Outdoors on their website. Clam has also got gold packs. So they've got 12 packs and 24 packs on sale right now, which look like the 12 pack right now is $5 off if you buy a 12 pack of them, which gold is always a good color for walleye. So go check them out. Northland Tackle. They've always got deals going. They've got 6 new tungsten jig colors. They've got new pan candy soft plastic colors. They got 40% off 12 and 15 packs of the gumball jig sale. And then they got a couple other things here. One thing that I wanted to call out is they have a walleye opener kit. It's a 48-piece assortment kit. It's $20 off, normally $120 down to $99.99. So you're getting some jigs, some soft plastics in here, minnow-shaped. Fireball jigs, those are my favorite from Northland. And then you've got some hard baits in there as well. And then per usual, the deal of the day, Fish USA has a deal going every single day. I will link down below. It's the same link that you can just hit every day and see what their latest deals are. But today, biggest thing that I'm seeing here, buy 2, get 1 free, all Suffix fishing line. So if you need some new fishing line for your spools, you can buy 2, get 1 free, essentially 33% savings if you do that deal. And then they got a couple other deals going right now as well. So that is what we've got for the stream for today. Chaz asking, was my list for resident or non-resident? It was for resident. I did not have any non-resident pricing in there. Good question. Really appreciate it. Missouri is only 12 for residents, 49 for non-residents. That would definitely be, I think, the cheapest for sure. For sure. What's up, John? All right. Tight lines out there. If you're getting out, going after some game fish, going after some walleyes this weekend, next weekend, tight lines, get all your rigging done. My boat is just about done being rigged. That video I'm hoping to drop later this week of the rigging of my boat. And I got a lot of other really exciting stuff coming on the channel. So stay tuned. Check out one of the next videos on the channel. If you're still watching here, flip on over to one of those and continue the journey. But until next time, take it easy, tight lines, and I appreciate each and every one of you.